Life, as we know it today, was not the same always. The origin of life is still largely a mystery, but as Darwin has said, from so simple a beginning, endless forms, most beautiful and most wonderful, have been and are being evolved. Presenting here the students of grade 8 who will take you along this amazing journey of life called evolution.
The more you know, the more you realize you don't know. A cleverly remarked quote by the famous Greek philosopher and polymath Aristotle, don't you think? Howdy everyone, this is your favorite TV correspondent, Minakshi Krishnan. Today we have with us a renowned archaeologist, Dhriti Goyal. Hello Dhriti. Thank you for joining us and devoting your time to us.
Hello, Minakshi. The pleasure is completely mine. I'm so ecstatic by the fact that I was called and that we are talking about a very riveting subject of relics. By the way, did you know that we evolved from fishes and not apes directly?
Do you mean this like a joke?
Believe me, pal. Take a simple example. Jawed vertebrates such as fish, birds, and humans make up about 99% of the vertebrates on Earth. I think that the common ancestors of jawed vertebrates was like an eyeless, jawless, boneless fish such as an hagfish or a lamprey, which diverged from their immediate ancestors about 360 million years ago.
Wow, that was utterly amazing. Then, considering the fact, I guess we're just fish out of the water, literally.
This is very witty. True, fish out of the water. So, evolution has actually taught us that even though all living beings are so different, they all claim the same share of heritage. Hey everyone, today let me take you on an amazing journey on this evolution of life with my associates. Let's take a look.
Green chilies, red chilies, yellow capsicums, green capsicums, and red capsicums are all peppers but are very different to look at. The presence of differences in the living organisms of the same species is called variation. Hello everyone, this is Akshita and let me introduce you to the variations that play such a significant role in evolution. For example, humans all belong to the species Homo sapiens, but we all look very different. Looking around us, it's very hard to escape the fact that we're also different on the basis of eye color, hair color, gender, and height. Now over to my friend Nikita to tell you about the various types of variation.
Hello everyone, this is Nikita. So speaking of variation, let's take a look at the types of variation. There are primarily two types of variation, continuous variation and discontinuous variation. Let's start with continuous variation, which is over a range of values with no limit to them. An example will help us understand better. For example, in humans, height varies largely from the shortest person to the tallest person. Continuous variation depends both on genes and the environment. Graphically, continuous variation forms a curved bell-shaped graph. On the contrary, discontinuous variation is between distinct groups. In this, there are no in-between groups. Unlike continuous variation, discontinuous variation depends only on genes. An example of discontinuous variation is blood group in humans. Mainly there are four blood groups, that is A, B, AB and O. So due to the different frequencies and different groups, it is a random pattern when it is plotted on the graph, which is usually a bar graph. Now as I just said, the causes of variation can either be genes or environment. To throw more light on these are my friends Parinita and Akshita.
Hello everyone, this is Parinita. If we look within our family, we often find some similarities that we all share. So the variation we exhibit due to the genetic inheritance from our parents is called as inherited variation. Example, your eye color, hair color, skin color, or if you have lobed or lobeless ears. Gender is inherited variation too, because whether you're a male or a female is a result of the genes you inherit from your parents. Although genes play a major role in deciding the features of a living being, the environment makes a huge difference too. Akshita will please tell us how.
Of course, yes, environment does make a huge difference. The characteristics of a species can be affected by factors like climate, diet, accidents, culture, and lifestyle. So, for example, if you eat too much, you'll be heavier, but if you eat too little, you'll be lighter. Another example is that a plant in the shade of a tall tree will try to grow taller as it will try to reach for more light. So basically, the variation that is caused by the surroundings is called environmental or acquired variation. How do these variations lead to evolution? My friends Neha and Vaja are having a debate on whose theory of evolution is correct, Darwin or Lamarck.
Hello, this is Vacha, and I do think Lamarck is right. Lamarck's theory was centered on two ideas: the law of use and disuse, and the law of inheritance of acquired characteristics. His theory stipulated that any characteristic which is used more and more by an organism becomes bigger and stronger, whereas the one that is not used disappears eventually. For example, in the evolution of the giraffe's long neck, giraffes stretch their necks a lot to reach leaves on trees in absence of ground vegetation. Eventually, their necks became longer and their offsprings inherited their long necks.
Vacha, I can only say, believe what you wish but prove what you can. Lamarck, no doubt a famous scientist but with flawed theories. On the other hand, Darwin had presented his theories with proper evidences. So as per Darwin's theory, variation is seen among the individuals in a species. And these variations, they become an advantage when there is a change in the environment. And these individuals are able to adapt better to the changed environment. These adapted individuals are able to survive better. This is known as survival of the fittest. And these fit individuals, they are able to reproduce better and their number increases. This is known as natural selection. Now let us revisit the evolution of the giraffe's long neck. Among the ancestral giraffes, some individuals had longer neck than the others. And as we all know, a giraffe with a longer neck can reach the foot that is high. This giraffe is more likely to get enough food to survive as well as reproduce than compared to the shorter neck giraffes. Thus, the giraffe's offspring inherits its long neck, and this happened repeatedly over the generations. And this is how, according to Darwin, giraffes have evolved.
Listening to explanation, Neha, Darwin's theory does seem to make better sense. Lamarck did send the ball rolling though.
But how do we know that evolution has actually taken place? Hear this out for the answer.
Hi everyone, this is Shivagayatri with you. All living beings, including humans, have descended from the same ancestor, a relationship that takes back around 3.8 billion years ago. But how do we know that evolution exists? My answer is the evidences that have been discovered so far. The first evidence are fossils that help us understand the structure of the animals before and now better. Like the fossil of Archaeopteryx shows the features of both reptile and bird, indicating a link between the two. Another evidence are homologous organs. Consider a four-limbed animal, a whale, a cat, a bat, and well me. Inside a four-limbed animal of all of us are similar bones, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, and phalanges that may be in different sizes. These are homologous organs which is indicating a common ancestry. Another evidence are vestigial organs which were useful to our ancestors but not too useful to us now. Again, this is indicating our evolution from our ancestors. Some of the vestigial parts in the human body include appendix, coccyx, also known as the tailbone, auricularis muscles present in our ears for our movement. Did you know the early embryos of fish, reptile, bird, and human have gill slits and tail, again signifying a connection? Also, recent research works on molecular biology does confirm similarities in DNA and other chemicals in the bodies of all living organisms. So, yes, we do have a proof of evolution. We'll now pass the baton to my friends Radhe and Sri Lakshmi to tell how we are shaping our own evolution.
Hi everyone, I am Radhe, and let us look into selective breeding, that is a type of natural selection but with human intervention. Selective breeding, also known as artificial selection, is the process in which humans breed plants and animals for particular genetic characteristics. We have been doing this ever since we first bred food crops and started domesticating animals. This is when we made the transition from hunter-gatherers to farmers. We can see how the ancient wild mustard was selectively bred to produce the present-day vegetables like cabbage, cauliflower, etc. Selective breeding involves choosing parents with particular genetic characteristics to breed together to produce offspring with more desirable characteristics. To understand selective breeding better, we first need to understand what a variety is. A variety is a type of particular species that is different from the same variety of species in some clear way. So, why and where is selective breeding used? Selective breeding is used to produce a new variety of the same species. It can be used to produce tastier fruits and vegetables, crops with greater resistance to pests, or larger animals that can be used for dairy products. The process of selection and breeding is repeated until we achieve our goal. But in recent times, we have gone one step ahead to control evolution. Sri Lakshmi?
Hello everyone, this is Sri Lakshmi. We all know by now the role variation plays in natural selection and thereby evolution. I will talk about how we can engineer variation. Variation can also be created through genetic engineering, also called as genetic modification or just GM. It is basically the alteration of the genetic code within the DNA of a living organism. Scientists use laboratory techniques to add a gene from a different species into the DNA of the organism. For example, GM is used to alter the DNA of a bacterium so that it produces insulin. Insulin is a human hormone which assimilates glucose and keeps your blood sugar levels in check. As bacteria reproduces very quickly, a lot of insulin is produced, and this can be used to help patients suffering from diabetes.
Phew, that was really a long journey life on Earth has taken. Thank you, Dhriti, for enlightening us. I am certain that the audience enjoyed this thoroughly.
The pleasure is mine. Thanks for inviting me. Would you like to share something new you have learned today?
Yes, it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent of the species that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks once again for having me on your show, Meenakshi. Now, before I leave, one last message for everyone out there. Stay home, stay safe, and save lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Life is a work of art. It has no end, no beginning, filled with day and beauty. It is just becoming, the most adaptable of them all. Nature is ruthless and unforgiving. Survival of the fittest. Evolving is our duty. Darwin's theory of evolution. To survive in the most extreme of conditions. To be constant with change. To not be a dodo on a page. Thank you.